What if everything we know, from the stars in the sky to the ground beneath our feet, might be inside a black hole? What are the chances that our entire universe could be hiding in an invisible force in space? And this discovery is about to turn around all we thought we knew. As mysterious as the universe is, nothing comes close to the concept of black holes. A black hole is a region in space where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape from it. It occurs when matter is compressed into a tiny space, often as a result of a massive star collapsing at the end of its life cycle. When a massive star exhausts its nuclear fuel, it can no longer support itself against the pull of its own gravity. Then the core collapses, and the outer layers are expelled in an explosion. If the remaining core is big enough, it continues to collapse into a singularity, and a black hole is born. Around the black hole is a boundary called the event horizon, and it's the point of no return. Once something crosses it, there's no escape. Inside the event horizon, the laws of physics as we know them cease to function normally. Time and space become distorted, and even now, our studies can't fully understand or explain what happens. And like anything else in the universe, black holes come in various sizes. First, there's the stellar mass black holes. These black holes are formed when a massive star, far larger than our sun, runs out of fuel. Once it's burned through all its energy, the star collapses under its own gravity and creates what we know to be a black hole. Most stellar mass black holes are between 3 and 50 times the mass of the sun. They're actually the most common type of black hole out there. But how do we know they exist? Well, they give themselves away when they start pulling in nearby matter, like gas or even entire stars. As the matter spirals in, it heats up and emits intense X-rays, which astronomers can detect using special telescopes. Next are the supermassive black holes. These are the giants of the black hole family, and their masses range from millions to billions of times of our sun. They're found at the center of nearly every galaxy, including our very own Milky Way. At the heart of our galaxy is Sagittarius A. It's a supermassive black hole, so dense that it warps space and time itself. And maybe their size and density is what makes them so evasive. But scientists still don't fully understand exactly how they form. Some theories suggest they started as smaller black holes that grew over billions of years, feeding on gas, stars, and even other black holes. Others believe they might have formed directly from gigantic clouds of gas in the early universe. Either way, they are central to how galaxies formed and evolved. The third kind of black holes would be the intermediate mass black holes. As the name suggests, these black holes sit between stellar mass and supermassive black holes in size. Typically, their masses range from about 100 to 100,000 times to that of the sun. They're rare and tricky to detect, which is why we've only recently started finding solid evidence of their existence. One unmistakable discovery was a mid-sized black hole hiding in the star cluster Omega Centauri. Astronomers believe it's the leftover core of a small galaxy that was consumed by our Milky Way billions of years ago. Now, the most mysterious of them all are primordial black holes. However, these are still theoretical, meaning we haven't confirmed their existence yet. If they do exist, they would have formed shortly after the Big Bang, when the universe was just a fraction of a second old. Back then, the universe was incredibly dense, and tiny fluctuations in that density might have created black holes in absurd sizes. They could be as small as an atom or as huge as a mountain. For decades, scientists have been on the hunt for these primordial black holes because they might help us answer some of the universe's biggest questions. And though they might come off as such, black holes aren't empty voids. They can be surrounded by an accretion disk. This disk is a swirling mass of gas and dust spiraling into the black hole. As this material accelerates and heats up, it emits X-rays and other forms of radiation, and that is exactly what makes it detectable by telescopes. Now, black holes might seem like they are the ultimate discovery, but they're also the key to understanding something even more incredible: quasars. The word quasar comes from the term quasi-stellar radio source, and it's the bright center of a galaxy that contains a supermassive black hole at its core. As material, such as gas and dust, falls into the black hole, it forms a disk called an accretion disk. When scientists first discovered quasars back in the 1960s, they thought they looked like stars because they were so bright. Eventually, it became known that they also emitted strong radio waves, something stars don't usually do. This made scientists realize quasars were something completely different. They are found in distant parts of the universe, and so they show us what the universe looked like billions of years ago. The extreme brightness of quasars comes from the process of accretion. When matter spirals into the supermassive black hole, it releases more energy than all the stars in the galaxy combined. This is why quasars are visible even from billions of light years away. For example, the quasar known as 3C273 in the Virgo constellation is one of the brightest objects in the sky and can even be seen with small telescopes. Quasars are also used to map the distribution of matter in the universe, as their light passes through clouds of gas and dust on its way to Earth to reveal the composition and structure of these clouds. Quasars are most common in the early universe because galaxies had more gas and dust back then, and so they provided more fuel for their central black holes. Over time, as galaxies used up their gas and dust, quasars became rarer. Today, we see fewer active quasars, but their remnants remain in the form of dormant supermassive black holes at the centers of galaxies, including our own Milky Way. Now, the big question is Earth somehow at the center of this chaos? The first idea to consider is that black holes form when massive stars collapse in on themselves and create a force so powerful that it can bend time and space. So, if Earth were to get anywhere near one, the results would be catastrophic. As we approach the black hole, the first thing we'd notice is how strange time would become. This is because near a black hole, time slows down, and this concept is known as time dilation. But to an outside observer, it might just look like Earth is frozen in time. Next, the black hole's gravitational pull would start tearing Earth apart. Gravity would become so extreme that it would stretch and distort everything it touches. Scientists have a name for this process, and it's called spaghettification. Earth will be pulled like dough through a pasta maker, stretched into long, thin strands. Oceans, mountains, even the core of the planet would be stretched out until they were unrecognizable. But let's say, hypothetically, Earth survived being turned into cosmic spaghetti. What happens then? The planet would continue its journey towards the black hole's singularity. This is the very center of the black hole, and it is so dense and compact that all the matter it has consumed is crushed into a single point. At the singularity, the gravitational forces and temperatures are extreme, and Earth would be completely incinerated. The heat and pressure would destroy every last trace of the planet. However, there's another way Earth could exist in a black hole, by forming inside one. Now, let's compare that to the Big Bang. The Big Bang was the beginning of everything. The universe basically expanded out of a single, incredible, dense and hot point. But instead, it suggests that the Big Bang started as the singularity of a black hole, inside a larger parent universe. This theory is known as Schwarzschild cosmology, and it says that the Big Bang wasn't just a random explosion of energy. When you look at the math behind both events, it's quite similar. A black hole collapses inward and pulls everything into a single point, while the Big Bang did the opposite and exploded outward from a dense point to create the universe. Another way to picture this is that a black hole forms when a massive star collapses and compresses all its matter into an incredible dense point called a singularity. This singularity is extremely tiny, but contains an unbelievable amount of gravitational force. Now, according to this theory, if the singularity continues to compress and reach a critical point, it could explode outward instead of pulling inward. This explosion might create a baby universe inside the black hole. In this scenario, that means our universe exists inside a black hole that belongs to a much larger parent universe. It's almost like a cosmic Russian nesting doll. Universes within universes, and each one is contained within the black hole of the one above. Now, think about this. If Schwarzschild cosmology is correct, it means every black hole in our universe might also contain its own baby universe. These baby universes could have different physical laws, structures, or even dimensions than our own. The possibilities are infinite, and we're yet to discover what this could mean for us. However, traveling back into the parent universe to explore these realities would likely be impossible. Nothing and no one would survive beyond the event horizon. And if someone or something did survive the journey, they would have to discover entire universes with different rules of physics or forms of life we can't even imagine. Now, the good news is we may not have to leave Earth to discover these possibilities. A lot is about to change. Studies from the James Webb Space Telescope Advanced Deep Extragalactic Survey, also called JADES, might have made one of the strangest discoveries yet. The study, led by Lior Shamir, was able to identify a certain pattern in how distant galaxies rotate. With JADES, Shamir and his team studied 263 galaxies, each so far away that we're seeing them as they were billions of years ago. These galaxies were detailed enough for researchers to determine the direction of their rotation, to essentially find out whether they spin clockwise or counterclockwise, based on their shapes. And what they found is that about 2/3 of these galaxies appear to be rotating in the opposite direction of the Milky Way's rotation. If the universe is random, as many scientists assume, you'd expect roughly half of the galaxies to spin one way and the other half to spin the opposite way. But this imbalance is surprising and contradicts the very nature of the universe as we know it. So why does this matter? The universe is often thought to be isotropic, meaning it should look the same in every direction and follow patterns that are statistically random. If galaxies prefer one direction of rotation over the other, it could suggest that something has influenced their motion on a cosmic scale. However, some scientists do agree that this could mean that larger structure or force shaped the early universe. Others beg to differ and say that the 263 galaxies may not be large enough to draw definitive conclusions. Meanwhile, in his earlier work, Shamir analyzed data from ground-based telescopes to study galaxy rotations, and he saw something he didn't imagine he would. As he looked farther out into the universe, the difference between the number of galaxies rotating clockwise and counterclockwise grew. That means there seemed to be more galaxies spinning clockwise than counterclockwise the further back you look. To determine the rotation of these galaxies, Shamir then did something clever. He focused on the brightest parts of a galaxy, its spiral arms, which extend outward in a distinct pattern. With an algorithm, he analyzed the brightness and orientation of these arms to figure out whether the galaxy was spinning in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction. So what does all of this mean for us and what we know? If these observations reflect the actual structure of the universe, then it means the early universe may have been much more uniform or homogeneous in terms of galaxy rotation. Over time, however, this uniformity seems to break down, becoming more chaotic. In simpler terms, the universe may have started out as a more orderly place where galaxies were spinning in a balanced and predictable way. But as billions of years passed, some unknown force or event might have caused this balance to shift and led to the uneven rotation patterns we see today. Shamir says that this could explain why galaxies don't all spin the same way. But here's where it gets interesting. According to Schwarzschild cosmology, the rotation of the black hole that birthed the universe might still be influencing how everything within it moves, even billions of years later. If our universe was indeed born from the singularity of a black hole in a parent universe, The spin of that black hole might have given the universe its own preferred rotation. In this scenario, the universe itself could be rotating on an invisible axis, like a cosmic top spinning in the direction set by the black hole that created it. This rotational preference could help explain why scientists like Lior Shamir are finding more galaxies spinning in one direction than the other. If the universe's overall motion aligns with the black hole's rotation, then it makes sense that a majority of galaxies might follow that same pattern. In the long run, this matters because if the universe does have an axis, it challenges the long-held belief that the universe is isotropic, meaning it should look the same in every direction. Instead, it suggests that the universe has a preferred direction, some kind of cosmic blueprint that influences everything within it. Some scientists have considered the possibility of the cosmos just having a preference for certain directions. A much simpler explanation is that the way galaxies appear to rotate might just be an illusion caused by our unique vantage point on Earth. If indeed the distribution of galaxy rotations in the universe is truly random, it might still appear non-random to us as Earth-based observers. This effect could be explained by the interplay between the rotational velocity of the galaxies we observe and the rotational velocity of Earth as it orbits the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Essentially, the way we see galaxies spinning could be influenced by how we are moving through space. It's like watching cars pass by from a moving vehicle. Depending on your speed and angle, the motion of the other cars can seem exaggerated or skewed. Just like that, our position and motion within the Milky Way might distort our view of the universe and make galaxy rotations appear more ordered than they really are. But even if this perspective holds water, it doesn't answer one question. If the entire universe is inside a black hole, as Schwarzschild cosmology suggests, why hasn't the black hole's gravity crushed us all into dust? So, where exactly do you think we are in the cosmos? Share your thoughts in the comments and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos about the mysteries of our universe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.